Hello, this is a game played on Foxxy that started pretty peacefully, but eventually Black lost a big group in the middle and he was forced to resign. So let's see what happened. Well, we have a very calm opening. Inside approach, probably the most popular move in this kind of Fuseki pattern. Back in the day, it was very common to play the split move. Also, it's good to play the approach from the outside or the direct Sansan invasion, but it's absolutely fine to go for this inside approach. So black plays a kick, which I find a little bit questionable because it's going to give white an ideal shape on the left side. Here black could fall back to f3, very calm, and wait to see whether white is going for disattach, which is modern, or simply extend to the left side. Now it's much easier for black to invade the left side, compared to the variation where he plays a kick, white goes up, and now white got the ideal extension and a very nice formation on the left side with this middle side extension move. So let's go back a little bit. Black can consider some pincer moves, for example, d10 or c9. These are moves that will work very well with the top left Shimari. Anyway, the Tsuke, already white feels comfortable. Then the approach in the low right corner. Now here is big for black to play in the top right corner, which is going to prevent the Shimari. And then think about moves to attack the lower side, either like this or direct Sansan. White defense very calm. Black attacks the top, that's still good. Now pincer, this is quite popular nowadays. Jump out, very good. Get ahead. This push, it's a little bit questionable. Black can push several times like this to get a wall and then counter pincer. Well, it's similar to what happened in the game, but black doesn't really need this exchange because it's different to play in the corner if he doesn't push here. Like he can attach at r17, for example, if he gets a chance. So white gets ahead. This move, it's either greedy or it looks like a misclick. On the right side, if white wants to extend, should be q10. Q10, it's a better relationship to r6 because this kind of move going up one to the fifth line is trying to build more, but the problem is that these two stones they are not connected very well. So black can easily play a move like q7 or something like q8, q9 or even q8 and just break the connection between those stones. So if shoulder hit and white blocks like this, black will jump and now there is no way to connect those stones. If white blocks here, black will separate like this. If white plays the key point here, black can push through or turn this way. So it's going to hurt p10 right away. Therefore, p10 looks like a bit of an exaggerated move. Also, for white it's very important to play in the top, either m16 or l16 or l17. It's important to get ahead and not to allow the Han and double Han at m16 and followed by l17. So if simply one space jump, when black plays here, next you defend k17. That's a nice territory in the top. Black still has a wall and he's going to play a pincer, but that q13 stone can still move. So it's easy to jump out if you want to erase the moyo or play a slide and try to sacrifice it on a small scale, for example something like this. So in the end it's not such a big loss to give up q13 and also keep center to attack the bottom side. But if you really want to keep the q13 in play on the right side, the extension should be q10. q10 is the right spot to connect to r6. Of course there are still invasions here, but once you attach on top, the stones seem to connect and it's a better fight for white. Also, if black plays the invasion on the fourth line, white will attach on the third line and seek connection this way. But playing the move on the fifth line, anyway, is not going to build a territory on the right side because black can simply slide s13. And it's the same when white has q10. But the problem is when black comes q7 or q8 or q9, there is really no way to connect that line. So if white plays here, black jumps out. And again, these two stones are separated. So white is not going to build the right side. Anyway, it was important for white to play in the top. Now black jumps in like this. He could also jump r10. Because from r10, if white separates this way, black can continue with a shoulder hit and a jump to come out in the middle. If white plays, for example, r9, then bump like this, It's also very easy for black to connect this side and still make q13 floating, and again punish the p10 fifth line move. So in the beginning, the focus is usually third line and fourth line. Stepping up to the fifth line can be tricky. So black jumps in this way. White is looking for a connection, which is good. The honey here is fine. But now, even if this block is quite natural or a nobi, it's interesting for white to play a move like r13. Because when black plays a honey here, black is also looking for a way to leave on the side. Black needs to push again, then honey once again, double honey, connect, and here white can play a one space jump. So separating at r13 can put this wall under pressure. I mean, white is losing some points on the side, obviously, but compensates attacking the top group, so that's an option. Anyway, white feels good about the position, so the block makes sense. Now black is supposed to push back, or I mean connect back or push and cut, which is going to be the case. Well, this push and cut leaves the Atari here for white, which is gonna happen later. Then when black connects, black will end up with an empty triangle. It's true, black captures a stone and a few extra points here, but the shape is quite painful. So it's not such a big gain. Anyway, good for white to play away. This m3 is good. The pincer can also be l3, but anyway, the difference is very sensitive. So nice idea. This bump, it's a bit strange. So if black wants to leave in the corner, he can just jump sun directly and use the o3 stone as a sacrifice, a bait, and then simply leave in the corner. This is a basic variation. He's scooping out the corner, but sacrifice the outside stone. Now, of course, white will just play big points here, or extend on the bottom, or defend the top. It's still very big to play L17. That honey and double honey will hurt. So black played a bump. That's a very strange move. It's a heavy move. White goes up. That's really good. Surround the group. Push. Okay. Then slide. This attach, it's a little bit overplay. Normally just block R3. Black will push and eventually leave. Maybe. Yeah, this is hard to kill. Because when you play the honey here, there's an eye on the bottom and he can make the other eye. So the life he makes is similar to the one in the game, more or less. But playing the attach, this gives black the option to cut the stone. So this is a way for black to live in the corner, sacrifice the stones on the outside, and keep center. And this is not so bad for black, because he's still damaging a lot in the corner. And having those 4 stones inside the white's moyo, that still keeps some agi. For example, later in the game, black can approach here as a co-threat, threatening to save them, then white simply goes down or blocks this way. Also, black has the option to play here, which white has to turn, because if white blocks, black can start a co-fight. So those 2 stones, I mean the 4 stones, can be used as co-threat agi. But this is correct to just leave. And for white here, the descended m2, it's center. But yeah, h3 it's actually quite large. Now when white played h3, black proper move is to go f5. This secures the corner and gets into the center. But now white has big points. The top one, the extension on the left. Black cuts. White goes up, that's good. White can also play Atari here, and when black extends, just leave it, play away. Obviously black wants to go Nobi, L6 and try to threaten the 3 stones on the bottom. Also for white, it's tempted to play M2, because if black doesn't react on the bottom side, so if black doesn't block here, for example, or O2, just to play another move to survive, let's say black extends on the left side, white can play O2 and the eye disappears. So even if black plays all these pushes and Atari and so on, this is a false eye at P2, so I mean P3, sorry, and with all these Ataris here, there is no way for black to escape, so the group is surrounded. Therefore, when white goes down, black needs to protect. Then white can also play Q1 in center. This prevents the R1 center for black, and then play away. So the cut at M6 doesn't really bother so much. Anyway, white went up. This is also a pretty good move. Now here, this is again the timing to go down, because black wants to enter K3 or to play Hane M2 and cut. So playing M2, it's a double center move, because this is obviously threatening the group. So again, black needs to block here. Then you play the Hane right away. Even if he goes Atari, he needs to come back and connect. So he's making a 4 points life. And now you don't even need to move around J5. You can play larger. For example, Keima here to threaten the corner more. Because those two stones in the middle are still heavy and not threatening the bottom anymore. When black plays here, you just attach and connect under, or you play a move like this. Or even this one. But the attach is fine to make more space. Playing this move is tricky because black can use this vital point. And it's impossible to push and cut. If white plays this, this and this, now the ladder works. So white will be captured. That's the problem with the shape here. So once black goes here, white needs to go down or attach. And now black can think about a way to resist in the fight and also descend. So this can be tricky. Another way for black is to play the Hane and then cut. Now that's a problem too. If white plays this move, black comes out. Then when white captures one stone, black goes down. And there is the tombstone formation, which it's terrible. It's going to die, so now white has to resign. So that's the problem with the shape on the bottom. Therefore, playing a move like J5, it's like not playing any move in the area. I mean, locally, you want to play K4 to make sure white is not in trouble. I mean, or black doesn't try an evasion. But M2 is the active move. It attacks black group and defends white in the same time. So black jumps. He didn't look for the edge at K4. White jumps along. That's fine. White could still play this descent. It really helps. Then the peep. Connect solid. That's okay. The Hane is too early here. Especially that, okay, in general, this kind of move is center, but for white it's not interesting to defend 5 points at S2. So for black, it's better to play M2 and then cut, or at least connect N1, threaten the cut, which makes white come back and defend. And then jump out with the center group, run into the center and escape. So this actually gives white tempo to attack the center group. But this is too obvious. You want to play moves like this to surround and push this group into the other white stones. Because if you go from the bottom where you have stones and you push him out, he will escape. So in order to put some pressure, you better prepare a little bit. If you play F5, this is threatening the corner. So black might Hane and defend against the sun invasion. Then you can sacrifice a stone like this in order to get stronger in the bottom area and then surround the group. Because now there's like a bridge in this area, so when black runs to the left, he will hit those stones and it's difficult to escape. So that would be an option. And if he comes out, so with this jump, when black goes out and white keeps running, chasing like this, and black escapes, white is not going to affect the corner so much. But if you play a move here and black jumps out and then you invade the corner like this, now black might be in a little bit of trouble on the bottom side. So there is more impact in the corner with a move like F5 than the jump on neutral points at J7. You want to have a stone here, then when black defends and you attack from the outside, he can play J7 and then you still surround everything. Well, let's not forget this move is still center. Because on the bottom, when you play M2 and he comes out, this one still kills. There is no throw in and Atari from the outside because it's self Atari. He needs to play here and you have time to connect. So back to the original game. One space jump, Atari. Okay, the hanging connection. This is actually threatening the group in the middle, but you can play away. You can play a cap, or you can play in the top or the left side, because when he plays Atari like this, you can always counter Atari. And on this move, you just pull back. So even if you give him a couple of stones, he's still in trouble in the middle. But this is an artistic extension or defense. So Hane and double Hane. Now usually against this double Hane, it's good to connect with N18, then black will Atari, white connects, and black needs to protect again at L16. This is the common way. Well, when you connect solid, black doesn't make the exchange at M18, and he's supposed to connect solid too. But he made a mistake and played a hanging connection. So this hanging connection allows Hane on the second line and push again in center, which is good for white, because when black plays the solid connection and white Hane, black will always block K18. He can do that. But now, having the hanging connection on the Hane, he cannot block anymore because white will cut its Atari and capture the top stone. So that's nice gain for white to push under a couple of times, but white can still wait because there is an invasion point here which threatens the connection underneath. So never know. Let's go back to the attack in the middle. This is a good move. So for black, L15, it's really, it's a flexible shape, but not very effective in the top. Now the cut, but it's not so easy to capture this group, in fact, and it still kind of happened. Black could play Atari from the outside. When white captures here, Atari again, and if white cuts, take 2 stones, white needs to take back, then, oh, actually in the top, black should play a Hane, it's Sente, to prevent white's Hane at L18 and then extend on the left side. Now when the capture, black still builds a lot in the top. So black could sacrifice 4 stones and make a big box and hope to win the game on points, but he wants to save everything. But this is too much, trying to save the 2 stones. Black should Hane and give up the 2 stones in order to rescue the large group. In fact, the tiger mouth here, it's more interesting because it's threatening the connection. So let's say white plays a peep, blocks this way, and black comes out towards the top. So black could escape with the dragon. But he wants to save the tiny 2 stones, which are not important. And now the big dragon is in danger. This peep you don't need, because you always want to keep the Hane in the top and reduce Incente. This peep anyway is not going to affect the group on the right side, because once black is connected here, this group is a territory on the right. And that peep can ruin some points in the top, but if you don't use it and it gets surrounded, then you lose the Hane in the top, so it's an Ajikeshi. Sente move, but eliminates big potential. Now here it's probably safer to play Nobi, because this one, black can wedge and create cutting points. So white needs to play Atari, connect, defend on the outside, then black can use this peep and jump like this to connect to the lower side. So black could escape again. He played the peep, then push, jump, that's good. He doesn't have to save the 3 stones. It's more important to save the dragon. So either here, Hane and cut, or just peep and then connect to the left. I think this is his last chance to save the group. Now it's too late. And here white can even play f5 and try to kill on a large scale. There are no eyes yet, and the idea is that you don't want to let this group connect to the bottom, and also f5 can affect the corner. So attach, fine. This is all good for white. Now black's chance is still to play something around here, but white already got strong enough, so in this case white will attach. White will never push and cut, but black should really exploit that Aji. So that's one eye, and now the second eye is impossible to make on the left side. Here actually white can turn, and when black plays d7, white will play a wedge. If black tries to make an eye, just double Atari and force it, then connect under. Now if black plays, for example, the descent, you connect first. If he connects, connect under. If he goes down or he tries this move, you can separate anyway and kill everything, because there is still no way to make an eye on the left side, and then simply descend here to get rid of the edge around k4. So this is a killing incentive. Like this, black still try to create some eyes on the left side. Good cut and push, and finally block against the edge. But it's still interesting to play down, because the group is surrounded, and now when he plays k4, there is no problem, and you can play here, for example. So on this move, attach. If he pushes to the left, block. If he goes to the right, block again, because obviously white can make some eye space here. There is this stone to catch. There is some room for eyes here, and anyway black is short with liberties in the middle. So this just makes black understand that white will catch him. So that's pretty much game over. That was an interesting combination. It's better to play just on the third line and then think about the c17 invasion. So when black plays something here, you play away, because this way obviously black being behind, he will try to catch everything. So like this, white lost points, losing d16, but it didn't matter. The kill on the left side is just, in the middle, is just too big. Okay. And finally, black is giving up. Well done. Nice catch in the center. And lots of interesting things to study before that big kill. Enjoy the review.